Hi,
Oh,
Karen.
how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Nice to finally meet you
Yeah.
and love the show so very much and such an honor to speak with you.
Awesome. Great to talk to you.
Kristen, tell me, uh, you know, what got, I got to watch the first few episodes and let us begin with what was the idea, behind creating this series, I Am Groot?
Oh, I mean, the whole series, yeah, it began maybe like 3 years ago. And I had a really great general meeting with Brad Winderbaum, one of the execs at Marvel. And then shortly after, he sent me the brief for Groot. And on the Marvel side, they knew they wanted it to be a show about Baby Groot going on these adventures, meeting new characters. And then sort of I got to put my own spin on it and send a treatment back. And then I was shocked when they picked me for the job because I feel like I wouldn't usually be a natural choice for for anything Marvel. But the execs are so wonderful in that they wanted me for that particular brand of weirdness that I think I brought to these. And then yeah, we just had so much fun. Like we just hit the ground running. And really any scenario that you drop Groot into, he's going to be fun to watch. So it was like really a joy coming up with lots of different little places and different characters he could interact with and things he could be doing. Um, yeah, it's been a fun ride. It's been a few years, I guess.
As an animator, what made you most excited about coming back with season two?
Mm. I mean, this is my first CG show that I've ever gotten to direct. Before this, I've really mostly just done stop motion animation. So for me, selfishly, like some things are very fun to do in CG in that medium that you really can't do easily in stop motion. So I was really excited in season two to do things like we got to do the episode on a snow planet, and I was like, yes, we have to do snow. Like that's something that would be so hard to do in stop motion. I'm like, yeah, we got to do snow, and then we got to do like this character that's flying around. All things that are like really so much more fun to see, I think, in CG. So we really tried to take advantage of the medium when we were considering, where Groot's going to be spaced too, like with the ice cream truck episode and everything. Like these are all things with all the lights, like things that are just so fun to see in CG. And so I tried to keep that in mind the whole time when we were writing, like what's gonna be really maximized for our medium.
So Twitter has been, a buzz about how this is the first, series involving a Guardian of the Galaxy without James Gunn. How is it different this time around?
Um, it hasn't been too much different. I think like season one, James would give us like occasional notes on things, but I definitely got the sense that season one, went pretty smoothly and everybody was happy with the short. So I just felt that we had his trust for season two, and it was kind of like we got the go ahead and we were kind of okay to just continue running and playing and having fun, putting this little guy into more crazy situations.
Groot is one of the only few characters in the MCU who has two versions of himself at the same time. An adult version in the cinematic universe and a teacup size version in the series. What do you
Yeah.
think this liberty, over maybe a Steve Rogers or an Iron Man?
Yeah, it's so fun to see him in kind of different stages. I mean, that's also sort of the fun of the MCU is like the possibilities are limitless. You can have them coexisting at different times, in different worlds, but I also just think it's a series that's set in a very specific time, so it is nice to focus on this super fun character who's very relatable in his like mischievousness, like I think we all can see ourselves, like see our inner child in Baby Groot. So it's nice to focus on those scenarios and like and see these episodes that are about things that you can kind of, I mean, I know he's in space, but like in a way you kind of can relate to them, at least for me with the ice cream truck. I feel like that's so my childhood. Or the one where he's, taking care of the bird. I'm like, this is me as a parent, it feels very autobiographical. So it's nice to kind of see him shine in those, shine like mostly by himself and have it be about him because he's such a rich character. But in terms of all the Groots being out there, like I love them all. I'm like, I'll take Groot in any iteration. Give me all the Groots.
What do you think makes this character so lovable? Like, even though he just has one dialogue, Also, he's the only alien species that I can think of who has his own language and does not speak English.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I love that about him. I think that's one of the things that attracted me towards doing this show in the first place is that it was about a tree who's a superhero. Like that is so cool, like that idea. And I also think, there's evidence of this everywhere in like most animated movies you see, it's a cast of animals, that are sort of anthropomorphized. And in that way, Groot is kind of similar, where he's not a human character. He's like this alienoid tree. And I think in a way, more people can identify with him and relate with him because he's like a specific human of a specific like gender or race or anything. It's sort of like he's this tree character. So like everyone can sort of like ascribe whatever they want, about their own personalities onto him. And like I think that's really, really wonderful about him.
So on Twitter and all over the web, keeping track of the number of times Vin Diesel says "I am Groot" since 2014. What's it like working with him, and how does he bring that energy continuously with that same one dialogue?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's amazing what he's able to do, really, in his performance because no two I Am Groots are the same. Like it really is true, especially like as we're going through in our records and slotting in our dialogue. It's really like I don't know. Certain I Am Groots really do need to have a certain inflection and have a certain delivery. You can't just swap any I Am Groot in there for another one. So that's just sort of a testament to how great his performance is. Everyone is so specific. You feel what he's saying, even though he's just saying, I am Groot.
This series has been viewed more as a filler, and do you think somewhere down the line, maybe these shows will somehow tie up to the MCU, maybe even with little Easter eggs somewhere?
I mean, there's tons of Easter eggs throughout. I will say that. Like, even from the trailers, I think like the day the trailer dropped, there's already YouTube videos that are like finding all these Easter eggs in the trailer. There's tons of Easter eggs all throughout these shorts. So I challenge people to go through and find them. I think there's even one or two from the first season that haven't been found yet. Um, but yeah, I think it's just sort of nice to have a character exploration, where it doesn't always have to be I don't know, unearthing some new revelation in the MCU, but it's like he's just a great character, and it's like people just have fun spending more time with him. It's really great just to see more of him in any context, I think. And another thing that's worth noting is like I think it's a really special series in that I think to date it's the only comedic animated series from Marvel Animation. It's really like yeah, it's sort of like purely comedic. So I feel very honored to kind of be part of that legacy of like the one getting to do comedy in the MCU because it's not something you always get to do in the MCU.
It's also one of the highest rated, animated MCU series.
Oh, I didn't realize that. That's great.
Yeah, I was just looking it up and I was like, wow.
Oh, awesome.
So, finally, what is the budget? As a VFX artist, as a director, in India, this budget issues are often brought up. We are always comparing ourselves to the Hollywood standard. What is your advice to directors making such films using CGI, using animation, and VFX, stop motion even?
Yeah, I think it's a good question. I think for us, and it's funny because I don't think I was even privy to what the budget was. I feel like the producers handle it, and then I'd never seen numbers. But there were moments where we came up against some budgetary walls, and I think the best thing to do, and this is like applicable, yeah, toward whatever field you're in, whatever type of filmmaking you're in, is like there's always going to be a budgetary ceiling. Like nothing's ever unlimited. So you just have to come up with like really creative solutions around it. And yeah, there were certain things that we avoided showing or, approached a shot in a certain way as opposed to shooting it this other way that's going to be really expensive. And honestly, at the end of the day, I truly feel like it made the show better. Like I feel like sometimes those budgetary limitations work in your favor because it forces you to be even more creative. It's even more like ingenuity of the human mind to be like, how can I solve this puzzle and then make it even funnier and like plus it after, but also get it cheaper. And I feel like there's usually always a way, and then it always makes it better, at least in our case. So yeah, I would say just like, it's always a challenge. It's always like it can be frustrating. I think for some people dealing with when they feel like they're dealing with budgetary limitations, but I feel like there's always a creative solution around it.
Thank you so much. Can you sign off with a message to Indian fans watching?
Thank you so much, fans in India. I hope you enjoy the show. Um, yeah, we are Groot.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Lovely speaking with you.
Yeah, great to speak to you.